listening to the Art of Homeschooling podcast, where we help parents cultivate creativity and connection at home. I'm your host, Jean Miller, and here on this podcast, you'll find stories and inspiration to bring you the confidence you need to make homeschooling work for your family. Let's begin. Well, hey there, my friend, and welcome. I'm recording this episode on the first day of spring here in the Northern Hemisphere, and I am craving a fresh start, a reset. So I thought I'd share my simple approach to a reset with you, with the thought that you might be in need of something like this right about now, too. Or if not, you can save these ideas for sometime down the road when you need a reset, a little boost to your energy, an influx of self-love so that you can fill up your own cup. Whether it's at the start of a new week, month, or season, so you can begin with a sense of renewal and hope. So first off, happy spring to you, or new season wherever you are in the world. Even though we have snow on the ground here, the sky is blue and the sun is shining today. And there are so many birds about. Just at this very moment, as I look out my window, I can see chickadees, a cardinal, a red-headed woodpecker, sparrows, a tufted titmouse, and a junco. I love how in the late winter and early spring, the changing light and bird activity are really the first signs that spring is coming. This year, the arrival of spring is coinciding with a few tough months for my family. My husband has lost two very close friends within 3 months of each other, and he also had foot surgery, his first surgery ever. And I had a first cousin who passed away, so 3 deaths in 3 months. In addition, a dear friend from out of town has been staying with us while her husband had heart surgery at a local hospital. It's been a lot of grief and emotions and holding the space for everyone. And it's got me thinking about my homeschooling days because it's kind of similar. It's a little bit like being the anchor for our families as the homeschooling parent, as that main parent. No matter what else is going on in our lives or our world, we still provide that anchor for everyone. Sometimes it feels like just being a human is all we have energy for. And then we add on parenting and schooling, and oh my. So today, I just want to give you permission to take good care of yourself, to check in with you and see how you're doing today, right now. How are you? Because some of us, and I'd include myself in this category, some of us tend to give and give and give, to always be checking in on everyone else. So much so that we might even miss the cues of exhaustion, fatigue, and depletion in ourselves. So on this first day of spring, I decided to think about a little reset. And my first question to myself this morning was, what's the simplest way to reset and renew my energy? I wanted to signal to myself that I'm here for me and that I'm welcoming in a fresh start. And this first day of spring felt like the perfect time for this. It really has inspired me. Here are some simple ways that I'm embracing this concept of a reset today. Gratitude is the starting point. To appreciate what we have, to notice the little things because they're not really just little things. For me right now, in this moment, this is green shoots poking up through the snow, my dog Gus coming by for a little snuggle, and the honeysuckle jasmine candle that is burning on my desk. The next is trust. Trust that you'll be okay and that you'll get through this. This is the message I'm telling myself today. We don't always see the whole picture, but that's okay. We can pause, even take a break from homeschooling if we need to check in with ourselves and know that all is well. We aren't in this alone. Then the way to recharge is through rest. And for me, music that soars out into the universe. Rest and music and poetry have long been my go-to support. And lastly, instead of trying so hard, just allow. Let things unfold naturally. These are my guidelines right now: gratitude, trust, rest, and allowing. And what I come back to again and again when I need a reset is a hot cup of tea and a poem. I find I need something tangible, not just thinking about what reset means to me, but doing something that with my senses. So this was my entire inner work practice in the early years of our homeschooling. And it's what I come back to even now when I need the simplest version of a fresh start that I can find. So today I started with a hot cup of Earl Grey tea, one of my favorites, and this poem by Emily Dickinson called Hope is the Thing with Feathers. It goes like this. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. So here's my question for you, my friend. How are you feeling today? Do you need a little refresh? Are you longing for a reset or perhaps a shift in perspective? If so, I encourage you to steep a hot cup of tea and find a poem that you can copy down and put into your back pocket. Then hold that warm cup of tea in your hands. Close your eyes for a moment and read or recite the poem. It's really that simple. I think you'll be amazed at how rejuvenating this can feel. This is such a great way to start a daily morning routine as well. You can even call this your inner work. And instead of thinking you have to do it every single day, think of trying for most days. Be gentle with yourself, but also encouraging. Treat yourself like you would a close friend. If you want to hear more of my ideas for a daily routine, check out episode 13 here on the podcast called Create a Simple Morning Routine for a Strong Start to Your Day. I'll be sure to link that in the show notes for this episode, which you can find at artofhomeschooling.com/episode 125. Of course, you can add to this simple starting point as well. Things like getting outside for a walk, movement is really good, drinking water, getting good sleep. Just be sure that when you start adding to this simple reset, you don't overload your list with things that you are pressuring yourself to do every single day, because then the whole thing backfires really, and it starts to feel heavy rather than lighter and rejuvenating. Believe me, I've been there. Sometimes it helps to schedule an entire reset day. So get a sitter or ask your partner to take the kids for the day, or do a trade with a friend so that you can give yourself the time and the space you need to fill your cup back up. I hope this episode has helped you recognize that you need love and care. And the best person to give you that, to give love and care to you, is yourself. It's a way to refresh and recharge. And we need to do this every so often so that you can begin again feeling light and hopeful and open to whatever the new week or new season brings your way. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to check out the show notes for this episode at artofhomeschooling.com/episode 125. See you next time. That's all for today, my friend. But here's what I want you to remember. Rather than perfection, let's focus on connection. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Art of Homeschooling podcast.